right, guys, I have part two of the breakdown of Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance, which I watched it a second time and it actually has an even deeper message. So let's get into it. So, the beginning of the performance, where he was sitting on top of the car, which LA natives know that car is a well known car. The people of that time, those were the ballers. Those were the people that really had pull, and it was a rare car and still is today. So that's the significance of it too. And Kendrick loves that car, by the way. So him standing on the car basically was saying that he's the head, he is the head and he is the bridge when it comes to this beef and like these different communities that came together for the Not Like Us movement. Okay. So that's him. So he's signifying he's a leader. You saw how he was kneeling down, then he stood up, like rise up, and then the people out of the car got out of the car. So basically saying he's calling the shots. And on top of that too, pay attention to the coloring, pay attention to the clothing. The people that got out of the car, you had the red was signifying the Bloods. Then you had, the white and blue, and anyone that is from LA knows, Crip attire, like Crip gangbangers, their attire and stuff, like the long shirts, all of that. Anyways, especially like during like the 80s, 90s, and things like that. That was definitely the style. So signifying Bloods and Crips. Also, too, them getting out of the car. If you know anything about LA, there are things called drive-by shootings. So they get out the car, a whole bunch of people get out of the car, that gang click, whatever, and either they gonna jump you, they gonna beat you up, or it's a drive-by shooting, period. Okay, so that's significance right there. Then, as I mentioned in the first breakdown, how you had to pay attention to the song breakdowns, the song placements, and how the very first song all the way led up to Not Like Us, signifying how him and Drake got to where they were, but also too where black people got to where they are today. Pay attention, clock that. So, Squabble Up, he's calling for Drake to get up and fight since he claims he's the greatest. You gotta pay attention when that song comes on and those specific lyrics that is going on. He's taunting him, okay? So Kendrick is basically saying like this beast isn't over. Like, I want you to do what you need to do. Now let's get to the song Humble. So that's a battle between standing firm behind his beliefs and checking Drake, okay? Pay attention to the lyrics in Humble. He's also signaling to black people to sit down, let others fight the battles. But when it's time, we are going to win the war, okay? That's like the hidden message between it. And there's a significance when, and I didn't catch this the first time, where he had the people that was on the stage, the car and everything, and how they formed the American flag. If you notice, they are in between a box, forming that flag. And it's all people of color in that flag. And within the steps saying it was a message to black people saying that we are boxed in, and it's signifying our suppression. Okay. The Uncle Sam, which was from Samuel Jackson, who he was playing, when he made the quote saying all the songs and everything Kendrick was doing was too ghetto, and that basically and too reckless. But this was a message to black people saying that black people can't be themselves. We have to dumb down ourselves to make them feel comfortable. Who are the them? Y'all figure it out. Okay. Now let's go on to the song DNA. DNA is basically saying we are the chosen ones. Again, pay attention to Kendrick's lyrics. He says a lot in his lyrics, okay? We are the chosen ones, meaning black people, and we need to activate it within ourselves before it's too late. So he's telling the black people that is asleep, because not all black people is asleep. That 92% that voted against Trump, they not asleep. But the rest of them are sleeping. He's saying you are royalty. It's in your DNA. Okay? You need to know that. Also, The other message is that black people have the sauce and we are often imitated, but no one is like us. Everybody takes from our culture, but no one is like us. At the end of the day, everything does kind of revolve around black people. Say what you don't like it, oh well, it is what it is. Now, let's get in a little deeper. When Kendrick says we deserve it all, when we mind our business, people try to play in our face. Why do white people feel like they deserve access to us all the time? That's another message, is what he's saying. Then he goes on to saying they're not talking about nothing. Those lyrics, he's taking an aim at the Trump administration and the people behind orchestrating all that. They're not talking about nothing. This is stuff that they have said before. They just amplifying and became a little bit more strategic in how they are rolling out things and dismantling things and things like that. He said people are talking brave behind. They're talking brave. He said something about a lyric basically saying people, those type of people, they talk big and bad on media and they talk big and bad, but when you confront them, they don't have any type of balls whatsoever. Like, I'm pretty sure if we were to walk up, or people were really go the Malcolm X way and not the Martin Luther King way, they will be scared. Okay, so that's basically what he's saying too. He said Trump relieving himself. So Samuel L. Jackson said, and that's when Samuel L. Jackson said, "You lost your mind." Pay attention to that. Oh my God, I hope I have enough time to explain this. Then Luther comes on with SZA signaling if black people were in charge, we would be peace. You notice how the energy changed and clock those lyrics. Basically, and then the people were marching, signifying like military. And also, to me, I interpret it as the Black Panthers as well. Also, with SZA and Kendrick on the stage, it was balancing divine masculine and divine feminine energy as well. Okay. Now, when the song All the Stars with SZA came on, the lyrics are speaking about the promises that the government makes us, and it hardly delivers. Okay. Basically, to black people. Go back to the start of the performance. He said, where he talked about 40 acres and a mule. The government promised that to black people, but have yet given us that. He's talking about the corruption and how he's tired of people masking things. Just show yourself and admit it. Like, if you're racist, stand on it. Say you're racist. Like a prime example is how they're attacking DEI, and how I said DEI is the new racist slur for people of color, especially black people. Then you got Samuel Jackson saying this is what America wants, nice and calm and not to mess it up. See, our suppressors want us to stay calm, but when we fight back, that's a problem. It scares them. They don't like that. Then Not Like Us comes on, signaling there's so much a person or group of people can take before they react. Then Kendrick says it's a cultural divide. You either with them or you with us. They try to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. You know how I said black people are the center of everything. Speaking about this is speaking about the dismantling of DEI and black history and just history in general. Now you have the part of the performance where Kendrick is in a circle, rocking in a circle while performing Not Like Us, signifying how in the hood people gather around when there is a circle of fights, and also everything leading up to the diss track going #1 from the Grammys to the Super Bowl moment end up being a full circle moment, but also how now globally people are watching him beat Drake. Okay, I also took it as the dancers were like game pieces. I don't know if you guys pay attention, but they were forming like X's and O's and triangles and everything. So Kendrick was basically signifying he's playing chess. He ain't playing checkers like Drake was. Then Kendrick says he's in New Orleans still being himself, being that guy from the West Coast, letting Wayne know he ain't scared, and Drake has to change himself when he goes in different zip codes. When Wayne is from New Orleans and he couldn't do anything to stop Kendrick from performing in his own city. You know how Wayne was upset how he wasn't picked for the Super Bowl? Then we want to talk about the people standing on the corner. Gangs normally do that if you go into the hood. So that was watching him and saying like, watch his back. Basically, Drake need to watch his back. And then people laying on lights. That's also something you see in the hood too. Mustard came out. People started running and they ran away, signifying boom, boom shots. Just so you guys know, that's my breakdown.